in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, News Gaon Se, Malnadu TV, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today our topic is role of youth in curbing fake news. Before I will go to the main topic, I would like to inform you that today world is celebrating World Radio Day. World Radio Day is an international day celebrated on 13th February each year. The day was decided by UNESCO on 3rd November 2011 during its 36th conference. Radio is a powerful medium for celebrating humanity in all its diversity and constitutes a platform for democratic discourse. At the global level, radio remains the most widely consumed medium. This unique ability to reach out the widest audience means radio can shape a society's experience of diversity, stand as an arena for all voices to speak out, be represented and heard. Radio stations should serve diverse communities, offering a wide variety of programs, viewpoints, and content, and reflects the diversity of audiences in their organizations and operations. Today, India is celebrating National Women's Day. India celebrates Mrs. Sarojini Naidu's birthday as National Women's Day every year on February 13th. She was born on February 13, 1879. She was famous for her nickname Nightingale of India or Bharat Kokila because of her poems. Mrs. Sarojini Naidu was not only a freedom fighter, but she also became the first governor of the United Province, the present Uttar Pradesh. She was one of the forefront leaders who led the civil disobedience movement and the Quit India movement. Media conference with Lal Goyal. Wish you happy Radio Day and happy Women's Day. Now coming to our main topic, and that is role of youth in curbing fake news. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Fake news is false or misleading information presented as news. It often has the aim of damaging the reputation of a person or entity, or making money through advertising revenue. Fake news in India refers to misinformation or disinformation in the country, which is spread through word of mouth and traditional media, and more recently through digital forms of communication such as edited videos, memes, unverified advertisements, and social media propagated rumors. Fake news spread through social media in the country has become a serious problem, with the potential of it resulting in mob violence, as was the case where at least 20 people were killed in 2018 as a result of misinformation circulated on social media. The problems of disinformation in a society like India might be more sophisticated and more challenging than they are in the West. The damage caused due to fake news on social media has increased due to the growth of the internet penetration in India, which has risen from 137 million internet users in 2012 to over 600 million in 2019. India is the largest market for WhatsApp with over 230 million users, and as a result, it is one of the main platforms on which fake news is spread. One of the principal problems is that receivers believe anything sent to them over social media due to lack of awareness. Various initiatives and practices have been started and adopted to curb the spread and impact of fake news. Fake news is also spread through Facebook and Twitter. According to a report by The Guardian, the Indian Media Research Agency, CMS, stated that the cause of spread of fake news was that India lacked a media policy for verification. Additionally, law enforcement officers have arrested reporters and journalists for creating fictitious articles, especially when the articles were controversial. In India, the spread of fake news has occurred with relation to political and religious matters. The IT cells of the BJP, Congress, and other political parties have been accused of spreading fake news against the party's political opponents and any campaigns against the party. The BJP is accused of spreading fake news targeting religious minorities. RSS mouthpiece organizer and Congress mouthpiece National Herald have also been accused of misleading reports. Misinformation related to coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is in the form of social media messages related to home remedies and that have not been verified, fake advisories and conspiracy theories. On March 7th, 2020, Prime Minister Honorable Mr. Narendra Modi made an appeal to not believe any rumors related to the pandemic. The Press Information Bureau brought out a fact check on 24th March that stories about a financial emergency being imposed in India are fake. To counteract this, over 400 Indian scientists are working together to debunk false information about the virus as of April 14th. Plenty of fake news were floated for Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, elections 2019, on Pakistan, on Kashmir. Other examples are imposters posing as army personnel on the social media have been called out by the Indian Army as false news and disinformation. 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots, which claimed over 60 lives and displaced thousands, was fueled by videos circulated on WhatsApp. As part of the 2016 banknote demonetization, India introduced a new 2000 rupee currency note. Following this, multiple fake news reports about spying technology added in the banknotes went viral on WhatsApp and had to be dismissed by the government. Internet shutdowns are used by the government as a way to control social media rumors from spreading. Ideas such as linking Aadhaar to social media accounts have been suggested by the Supreme Court of India by the Attorney General. Suggested to the Supreme Court of India by the Attorney General. In some parts of India, like Kannur in Kerala, the government conducted fake news classes in government schools. Some say the government should conduct more public education initiatives to make the populations more aware of fake news. In India, Facebook has partnered with fact-checking websites such as Boom and Webkoof by the Quint. Following over 30 killings linked to rumors spread over WhatsApp, WhatsApp introduced various measures to curb the spread of misinformation, which included limiting the number of people a message could be forwarded to, as well as introducing a tip line, among other measures such as suspending accounts and sending cease and desist letters. WhatsApp also added a small tag forwarded to relevant messages. They also started a course for digital literacy and came out with full-page advertisements in newspapers in multiple languages. Twitter has also taken action to curb the spread of fake news, such as deleting accounts. In 2018, Google News launched a program to train 8,000 journalists in 7 official Indian languages, including English. The program, Google's largest training initiative in the world, would spread awareness of fake news and anti-misinformation practices such as fact-checking. Fact-checking in India has become a business, spurning the creation of fact-checking websites such as Boom, Alt News, Factly, and SM Hawks Slayer. Media houses also have their own fact-checking department now, such as the India Today Group. Times Internet has TOI Fact Check and the Quint has Webkoof. India Today Group, Vishwas.news, Factly News Mobile and Fact Crescendo All international fact-checking networks certified are Facebook partners in fact-checking. In November 2019, the Indian Ministry of Information and Broadcasting planned to set up a fact-checking module to counter the circulation of fake news by continuous monitoring of online news sources and publicly visible social media posts. The module will work on the 4 principles of find, assess, create, and target, that is fact. The module will initially be run by information service officers. Near the end of 2019, the Press Information Bureau, which comes under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, set up a fact-checking unit which would focus on verifying news related to the government. So today, our main topic is role of youth in curbing fake news. And as you all aware that because of this fake news, what we have seen on 26 January 2021, when somebody, we can tell them a terrorist or whatsoever name we will give to them, try to put a flag on the Red Fort, which is a matter of very, very concern to everyone. And that's why yesterday, Honorable Supreme Court has issued notices to check the fake news circulation. Now, to discuss this topic, the role of youth in curbing fake news, we have our chief guest today, and he is Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha. Welcome, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, on our show. Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha is the former Additional Director General of CRPF. He did BSc in Biology and Masters in Economics from KR College, Mathura in 1974. He joined the ISA, Internal Security Academy at Mount Abu in 1976. He is currently pursuing legal practice as an advocate in Supreme Court of India. Mr. Kulshrestha has served in Mizoram, Assam, Manipur, Tripura, Meghalaya, Kashmir Valley, Punjab, Odisha, West Bengal at various ranks and successfully completed challenging assignments in extremely difficult and hostile terrain and weather, fighting terrorists, militants, and outlaws, besides many important policing duties. He twice survived attempt on his life in ambush and bomb blast and successfully neutralized attackers, for which he was awarded Parakram Medal and Police Difficult Duty Service Medal. A well-trained police commando, he also served as Black Cat in NSG, that is National Security Guards, on deputation for more than 4 years, spanning 1992 to 1996. Mr. Kulshrestha is also the lucky few to be the Chief of Rapid Action Force, RAF, which is the Specialized Riot Control Police of India. As head of RAF, creation of RAPO, RAF Academy of Public Order Management, was his dream project and brainchild, which has now come up in Meerut, UP. With 38 years of successful career in Central Police Organization, he has been awarded with Parakram Medal, Police Special Duty Medal, Internal Security Medal, 50 Years of Independence Medal, Police Meritorious Service, and President's Police Medal for Distinguished Services, which is the highest police medal, besides many commendations and discs of the DGs. Welcome, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, on our show. Mr. Kulshrestha, you are such a distinguished police officer, well-decorated police officer, and you have reached on the top. You have faced so many terrorist militants, and you survived twice. And at that time, when you were in the field and actively you were in the field at that time, fake newses were there or not, like what we are seeing today? And what you think the role of youth in curbing fake news? Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, please.
Good morning to everybody. Great thanks to Mr. Lal for putting me together with the youths, the biggest in number, and our future. You have said so many good things about what is happening around. I think no one else can sum up things together. You have put in few minutes. I was wondering, and I must salute your research team if it is not you alone. The rest of them also deserves my thank for doing this great job. Well, I just try to put some points together because we have jumped in the soup rather than making the soup. When we joined the police services and the administration was taught to us, this is something which in Hyderabad School of Business Management, we learned that the communication in this era is the biggest challenge. And without communication, we don't make a society. And what were the teaching basically was that one has to be very, very careful in communicating, especially when you are in administration or you are in command. The communication, irresponsible communication is the biggest problem. And the way communication has become easy, widespread, the challenge has become very, very big. You have covered so many things. How the reaction of this behavior, human behavior, is causing problems. I am not going to put any data together. We are a civilized society. And civilized society is different than the herd of sheep, following one each other, and then finally we know all these are there. When we say civilization means we need to have something called as controlled behavior or discipline. Without discipline, society will be moving in absolutely no direction. This is disastrous. Unfortunately, this is a fact of human behavior which has been earlier or now being utilized by the people who are in marketing, media. You see how every day we are blasted with various types of advertisements coming on various news channels, newspapers. Earlier, I remember it used to be a one man nearby in a court trying to do some acrobatic, collecting the crowd and then finally selling the things. From that era to this era, everywhere you have some information, and whatever goes to mind, the mind has a tendency to react. It has made our challenges much bigger. We all know how the Fair and Lovely might have made big business by making false promise that you are going to become fairer. And the other example, which I just try to say, that how this other than business, when Ganpati drank milk, many of my young friends may be too young to have seen it personally, but they must have come to know about it. The civilized society needs a responsibility. I'll just try to share with you, when we join service, the first thing which is done for an army cadet, when he joins, he doesn't become an officer, he remains a cadet. What changes him from cadet to a second lieutenant or lieutenant now is the oath he takes. And what is the value of oath? I'm trying to realize now. Without taking oath, you will not be an officer or you will not perform anything with the responsibility. The value of oath, today, once you gave me this topic, then I was just trying to go back into the human psyche and what measures we have taken. Since centuries, oath had been always there. Oath finds a place in the Constitution, 3rd schedule. You cannot be given a responsibility unless you take the oath. And this oath is one thing, a bigger one. You have to stick to your aim. You have to control your mind. The information which comes to you will not be used or disseminated unless it has been responsibly thought over, and only then you become a responsible officer or a minister. Even a president is not a president. If you remember, there was one word missing when Barack Obama was taking oath. The oath was re-administered to him. I'm just trying to link it from background. These are all incidents. These are all accidents of this. The oath is required to be taken by all of us. Now we have understood this is a very, very big issue, no problem. Just imagine if, as a police officer, I organize, I plan, and take action. Action means your life is in danger. Just based on hearsay? No, cannot. Everything needs to be verified before you actually react. You have heard it, fine, because it has been poured into your head, or you have been shown a billboard or something comes, it may be very charming for the sake of doing business. But reaction is the only thing which is in your mind. So you have to train your mind, you have to discipline your mind, each one of us, especially the youth. If we apply our head, that what is the information? Is it correct? Number one. Do I need to react? And if I react, to whom? And what will be the consequences? The oath is something which keeps you binding all through your life. I might have hanged my uniform, but the oath word, which I thought is something which is the answer, which we had right from the beginning. Unfortunately, such things are taught somewhere little bit in our culture. We say the family norms, the family parents have taught you to be disciplined. And in schools, I don't think it is there. You have so much of curriculum, but this would be my recommendation, that the oath taking is now something which we need to ponder upon. In your friend group, you have some very responsible persons in your family, in your neighborhood, in your uncle, aunties, or somebody. Someone is considered as a very, very responsible person, and your person who's responsible is also relied upon. He actually solves your problem. The rest, whoever says whatever comes to their mind or whatever they've heard, become mischief mongers. In judiciary also, you can understand the law of the land says that nobody will be punished unless it has been duly assessed. The verification, and all the courts do just one thing. They want to find out the truth. It may take years, it may take a statement of so many fellows. Nowhere anybody will be punished unless the evidence has been verified. As the reason, in all legal documents, you have to sign an affidavit that you have applied your mind, you take it on oath with knowing well what are the consequences, which is penalty. You will not do anything, or you will not say anything. You will not bluff the court. You are controlled by the law not to bluff the court, but this new generation is now trying to spread the bluff. I say whatever is the thing, you may not know what is the truth, then what is the hurry? You gain nothing. You're simply wasting your energies or feeling pleasure out of it. It's a useless pleasure. That I was the first man. The problem which I had been facing since this media has come, WhatsApp and that all, same thing is being sent by everybody. Every second day, my mobile says your memory is full. Useless memory. I waste my time in trying to find out where was the good news relevant, where I was supposed to have taken action. Now this new generation is equipped with very, very dangerous tool in their hand. We call somewhere the trigger happy. You have provided a gun and this man is very happy in pulling the trigger. Very, very useless person. Once you have something, you have to know, you have already covered in your prelude to this session, that something like polythene has come to our civilization. We thought some good use, and the bad use, now we all are running around to pick up the polythene, which is dangerous not only for you. You have cancer hospitals after that, you have the water, and everything stands polluted because we got something new, we found it very useful, and we used this very, very irresponsibly. So the things which we have now, within a second, I can communicate with you. I can send you rumor also, very sensational news. It may be very tempting. I'll try to send it to others. The inoculation against this virus has to be given before you are actually infected or you are spreading the infection. And my answer when I tried to find out was, in the oath, you have to discipline your mind, you have to discipline your behavior before you are going to use this new revolution of communication through the gadgets and media, internet. Unfortunately, what we have reached that stage, people have already taken our advantage by giving it to us free. And we never realize it is free. So, okay, I can send it to as many people. They are trying to put restriction. You cannot forward this mail to more than this, that, only to restrict this wildfire, jungle fire. But it's of no use unless you become good, you become responsible and disciplined. This cannot be stopped. You have seen very, very big things are happening around in American elections, in Indian elections and everything. Not everybody is actually intelligent enough to understand what is false and what is true. For false, you have started now making the laws. Laws have been made subsequent to the danger which has come. And it is also not sufficient, very, very difficult to prosecute people or to catch the people. Again, the answer lies with our youth. They are the biggest user. They are equipped with the biggest in India. It is in size. It is really monstrous. It is spreading like pandemic. It is becoming endemic. And we all have to understand that it is only we, no law, no mechanism can stop this. Every one of us has to feel responsible. Please, we have to make our mind more disciplined, not to react without application of mind. You have already said so many things. I have given my experiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kulshrestha, for giving your views about the fake news. And as Mr. Kulshrestha said, that fake news generates, once it comes to your mind, everyone has to think twice, thrice before forwarding or before spreading that news. And that is why he said that when they took oath as a police officer or an army officer, they have to take the oath that whatsoever is coming, the information is coming to them, they will not try to diminish or try to do something which will harm the society or others. And that is a very, very important aspect, because if youth will take care of this, right now, as you all know, that we are 65% population belongs to youth. And if youth takes a firm decision that they will not try to spread any news without proper verification. Today, youths are equipped with all modern tools. They can very well check on Google or wherever the fact check can be done. And only after watching that, it might be a very, very lucrative video or lucrative news or very attractive news, which you feel that it's a very, very, very sensational news. I must spread, and this is going to create a good name to you. No, first verify, then go ahead. And what Mr. Kulshrestha says, that is the quality of the any person, if he or she assess the things and before circulating or before giving these types of news in the society. And he appreciated the steps taken by the government and the organizations which are limiting the broadcasting or the widespread of the WhatsApp or other social media news, so that at least it will not go like a wildfire in the jungle. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, for giving such a inspirational, and along with your experience which you have quoted, I am sure our youths get the benefit of this. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my first youth guest, and she is Miss Grisha R. Salian. Miss Grisha, please unmute yourself. Miss Grisha, you have heard what our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, has spoken. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in curbing fake news. Miss Grisha R. Salian, please.
Good morning, Lal Goel sir. Good morning, Ajit sir, and everyone present here. My name is Grisha Rajesh Salian. I'm studying in 11th grade in Madhav Kripa School, Manipal. Role of youth in curbing fake news. Fake news is a term that can mean different things depending on the context. People don't understand the value of others. If I have to be very specific, the young ones who are the most active people on social media are spreading completely made up material news, half storytellers, and whatnot. They do not think before posting or liking any post to know the deep inside truth. It has been observed that many of the readers just read the headlines and assume the entire context. Social media platform, which includes Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and YouTube, have been the influence for intent for providing false information. Readers do not look at the source of the information, credentials of the information. People are just loitering around and not making any effort to actually figure out whether what we're looking at is true or false. The next question arises, why should we care? Why does it matter? If people start to doubt information, then they start to doubt the most accurate information. So they start to dispute scientific evidences. They'll start to fall into numerous conspiracy theories. Depending on the type of content that's in the fake news or misinformation that they're consuming. It can even impact in negative attitudes. So the next one is, what do? We need to make sure that they are better educated in terms of media literacy. We all need to know the importance of it. We need to know how does it affect us, how does it affect an individual. Think critically before believing or sharing any news. Especially the youth have to play this role in our country. We need to think critically before believing or sharing any news. Be aware. We need to read beyond the headline. Read the whole article, not someone else's summary. Ignore your biases. Keep your points aside. Just listen to someone, analyze it, and think. Use your brain and think whether it is true or false. We need to remember that images and videos can be manipulated. Check the facts before we share. Verify the author and publisher's authenticity, credibility, and objects. And if you think you cannot verify the news, then just stop sharing it. Keep it to yourself. Unless until you know the verification, identifying information that whether it is true or false, then only share it. Lastly, I would like to conclude, identifying information that's false is very difficult. So we need to make sure readers know to pause, check the source of the information. If you can't find the source, just leave it to yourself. Do not forward it. It's better not to circulate things which are not having the evidence at the back. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grisha, for giving your views. Yes, you rightly said that youth plays a very, very important role, and they can play a very important role for curbing the fake news. And for that, what Ms. Grisha has said is that the youth should verify verify the truthfulness of the news. Then only they should circulate. And she also added, in case if you cannot verify, please don't circulate. I will also add one more thing in this, Grisha. In case if you verify and you find that this news is a fake news, please send the back to the person who has sent you the news and inform him or her that this news is fake. Please send it back to the person from you received this news. So let a reverse chain to start, and ultimately the person who has started this fake news should know that now the youth is awakened. They are not going to accept such type of fake news which are decisive, which are going to create problem for the country or for any religion or for a caste or a creed. So it is the duty of the youth now not only to stop spreading the fake news, but rather trying to send it back to the person who has started this fake news. He or she should know that this is wrong and they should not do it. So I'm sure the youth will take such type of initiative, and it will definitely curb the fake news in a very big way. Thank you very much, Ms. Grisha, for giving your very valuable views. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Gopalam Pranitha. Miss Gopalan Pranitha, please unmute yourself. You have heard our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha. You have heard our earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you your views. First, you introduce yourself and give your views of role of youth in curbing fake news. Miss Gopalam Pranitha, please.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. And thank you for giving me this opportunity, sir. I have heard about the fake news. I want to curb the fake news, and the fake news was being well nourished and various social media platforms. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Pranitha Gopalam. I am studying in NRA Institute of Technology in third year BTech. Presently, I am doing an internship in Multinational Academy, Indo-Gulf Marketing Association, sir. Coming to the fake news, it is being well nourished and well nurtured in social media platforms. So, who is responsible for this means 70% of this is youth. Youth is responsible for the fake news, and 20% is middle-aged ones, and 10% is old educated people also sharing this news. And each youth is spending almost his day in virtual world, and he should be wake up from his spirits. And the tips are he should develop the critical thinking, and he should be identifying the fake news and what is the fake news and what is the real news. And we should stop forwarding the messages blindly without giving a research. So if we don't have time to take a research, then we should not share the information to another people. So, like if you consider an example, I have heard a news that a snake has 11 heads. It is impossible that the snake has 11 heads. I have researched it and I have shown that it was a fake news. And likewise, fake news is coming into the scientific side. And also in 26 Jan, it is a big fake news that is becoming viral on YouTube. And people are capable of conjuring up and fictitious nature freaking up to political propaganda. When we see these kind of articles, we can't even wait to read the complete matter, and we'll start sharing. So this kind of thinking is very wrong. And in the research, it was detailedly said that 59% of the news was shared without even reading the complete news. Almost 6 out of 10 articles are being shared without completely reading. So we should stop firstly these kind of activities, and then some of the tips are, if we consider another example like miracle cure for cancer, then we should remember that it is not going to first land in our inbox of a WhatsApp or anything Facebook, and then first it will land on the trusted social media website. So we should remember that, and those miracles can be viewed in the trusted social media. So we should not forward those messages to another people without giving a research. So my suggestions to youth are, don't forward many messages without going into the research. If you don't have a time, then don't share the messages to someone else. And misbelieving videos and images in general are becoming very popular nowadays, and we should stop misbeliefs and superstitions. So I heard some messages like, if we share to 10 people, then it will be good for you. So we should stop believing that kind of things, and we should realize our scientific reasons. And I have a abbreviation for this. CRAAP is my abbreviation. First of all, C stands for current. We should check the information is current information or not, and R stands for reliable. We should check for the reliability of the information, and A for authority, uh, next A for accuracy, and P for purpose. If we check this crap abbreviation, then we can find out the news is fake or not. So concluding it, don't believe the fake messages, and if you know it is true, then forward to another people, and if you know it is fake, then don't forward and tell them that it was fake. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gopalam. And you have given a very good point, and that is about the treatment, about the medicinal fake news. Yes, it is going in a very, very different way. Earlier it was for cancer, or for even now for the coronavirus also. One should understand, and you all are educated, youth are educated persons in our country. They should understand, if anybody is having any treatment of any particular disease, which is a very highly infectious disease, like if we are talking of corona or cancer or tuberculosis, he or she would have got the Nobel Prize. When so many the deaths are occurring every day, why the person who is having some medicine, what type of medicine, why not it is going as for the Nobel Prize? As we all know that today, even for vaccine, how much researches are going on, and there are so many fake news are coming that this vaccine is good, this vaccine is bad. How you know that this vaccine is good or this vaccine is bad? After all, young scientists are working day and night. They are researching, they are giving out something. They cannot give, they are not against any humanity, they are not against us. How can they can try give us something which is bad? So don't believe whatsoever is happening, and especially in medicinal field, because after all, scientists, doctors, they are working day and night to save our life. And if we disbelieve them, then how, then whom we are going to believe? As our chief guest has mentioned about the drinking of milk by Lord Ganesha. Now, if we can have such type of fake news even for the God, then how we can, this type of news is very bad for the society at all. And that's why the role of youth is very, very important in curbing the fake news. Whenever such type of news comes, where some thing which is related to the either the government or public at large, please don't spread it. Please get it checked. If you cannot check, stop it immediately. And if it is fake, immediately rebound it to the person who has sent to you, so that he or she will not dare to send you further any fake news. Thank you very much, Ms. Gopalam, for giving your views. I'm sure that the viewers who are watching this show, the other youths, and even otherwise also, they will also get some lessons what they are saying. And one more point which Ms. Gopalan has said about the data, and she said that 10% is the population of senior citizens and 20% of the adults. That is also alarming. At least the senior citizens like us, we should not spread any fake news. If we will do it, we should think of our future, the future of our country, think of the children or the grandchildren, how they are going to react. Thank you very much, Ms. Gopalan, to show us the mirror for this good views of yours. Thank you very much. Now I would like to move to my next guest, youth guest, and he is Mr. Harsha Raj Gati. Mr. Harsha is a Mr. Harsha, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Mr. Goel.
Okay, Mr. Harsha, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha.
Yes.
You have heard the earlier panelist, youth panel guest.
Right.
Now we would like to know from you the role of youth in curbing fake news. Mr. Harsha Raj Gati, please introduce yourself and please speak.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mr. Goel, and good morning to all my co-panelists. Good morning, Mr. Ajit. So, like Mr. Goel rightly pointed out, I am one of the few fortunate people in 2018 when Google Initiative started this fact-checking drive across the country to train journalists. I was one of them, and we have been actively engaging different media houses. We were trainers of trainer, where we engaged civic societies and other media participants on how to identify fake news. Currently, I mean, I'm a journalist. At the same time, I'm the HOD of a journalism department, St. Agnes College, where I have a day-to-day basis youth interaction. So coming from that school of thought, we classify fake information into three bifurcation. One is misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Disinformation, where is the person who creates a message has got some motive behind it, political or his own inclinations. Misinformation is where a person forwards a message without realizing he is a victim of fake message. And most of the time, misinformation, we have seen a pattern where, especially the youth, if any message is favorable for them, maybe political, ideological, comical, or anything, whichever they like, they don't pause, they don't get into critical thinking sphere, just forward it innocently. But then the damage is done at many times. And now we are also there is something called as malinformation. Just like mal in nutrition, we call it malinformation, where you have half and half information, not the entire picture. We still make an effort to forward it. Like Mr. Goel rightly pointed out, like Mr. Rajit rightly pointed out, digital penetration is almost nearing 100%, but across the country, the problem is there is no digital literacy, and there is a good section of people who are digitally marginalized. Both like one of my earlier panelists mentioned, senior citizens, not only senior citizens, even the youngsters also, because they are the fast movers of technology, they are the fast consumers of technology. However, in this process, what happens is the critical thinking takes the downside. Okay, everybody now, like we were recently in one of the discussion, what we were pondering on is youngsters these days are, unlike earlier, they they want to be relevant. That is their on one of their most top priority. I mean, earlier people thought, get jobs, or on make money, be rich. But now, given the social media hype, they want to be influencers fast. They want to, have that Twitter blue tick, or Facebook blue tick. It has its own hype, in the present times. And unfortunately, what happens is, they become part and parcel of this process, and they disseminate misinformation. Like 2018 itself, the simple news of how the child kidnappers were, we were working with BBC then. 58 people, I mean, till we were working on that model, 58 people, including a 82-year-old woman, was mob lynched. Okay, and it was their act was just reaching out to the child, but people around the area thought something else is going on, and they were mob lynched. So impact is it's beyond, beyond just laugh. Okay, it's more than, it is a matter of life and death now. Like Mr. Goel pointed out, Mr. Ajit pointed out, we are a entire country, we like to talk, but at the same time we have little bit of censorship, or we don't have that self restraint is very limited. It's a basically a cultural thing. But here what happens is, in the era of digital, it is panning across the region, and the impact of fake news, it's very clear. Another thing what we have done from our end is, beyond educating, we have included in the syllabus. Okay, there is something called as a credit based syllabus system. We have last year we have encouraged the college that, fact checking, digital literacy should be a part of the syllabus, because it's a larger mandate, especially when the media consumers and digital consumers population is increasing. And the college has welcomed the decision at St. Agnes College, and we are making that effort to include go beyond journalism students on how to reach out with fake news. Second thing I would also like to point out to the my young friends is that I mean, we need to pay a little bit of attention to the senior citizens. We have a digital literacy classes for senior citizens on how to use mobile. I mean, I have most of my for my digital literacy classes, my students are senior citizens. Okay, most of them are victim of some scams. Okay, mostly associated with their monetary messages, relevant messages, and they have fallen victim. As recently as 4 months back, 34 lakhs, it was the entire saving of a person which was got vanished. And what is the help we can do? But problem here is, many a times senior citizens, when it comes to, they come with their own lot of baggages, their experience, their emotions. And when youngsters reach out to them, they are very much in an instructional tone, as though talking to friends or peers. That doesn't work. Okay, with when you talk to seniors, you have to be very empathetic. Okay, you should talk to like friends. They will come back to you with repeated queries, and you have to entertain that. Otherwise, what happens in one of the recent cases which I just mentioned, the person was victim long time back. This is the second time that person is victim. The person is the senior citizen is embarrassed to tell experience or the kind of financial loss, because his concern was, if I tell to my child, he will shout at me. And I have this is the same child I have raised, and I cannot live to listen some things from my child. Rebuke, I cannot listen. So that person went on being victim and suffering a lot until then, until it was too late. So little emphasis. I mean, you guys are youngsters are picking up on technology. It's easy to pick up on technology, but little attention has to be paid to the seniors also, so that they really stand at immediate losses, so that they are on the safer side. So when we talk about digital marginalized, everybody is learning, everybody is a victim at the same time a receiver of in fact, now we are looking on what are deep fakes, how videos are monitored. I mean, people are speaking, but at the same we are researching on that. And yes, many students of mine are also, some of them are victims of the messages, just passing on the message. So little bit restraint is needed, like Ajit sir said, like Goel sir said earlier, some kind of restraint, some kind of pause, some kind of critical thinking is needed. What we get, when we get, how we get, what are the sources of this information, what we got. And only then, if need be, is there any point of me sharing this news or information. Only after some judgment is taken, I think, it is better, it can be handled in a more mature or a better manner, and then thereby we can restrain some kind of fake news. Yeah, that's my take on that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Harsha, for giving your views. And what Mr. Harsha said is about disinformation, that somebody with a malified intention is trying to create fake news. Now, in India, what we have seen is that political parties are generally creating disinformation, irrespective of which party. We are not talking of a particular political party. You, as a youth, you might be aligned, after all, it's a democratic country, you might be aligned with a one particular political party. You might be getting that in fake news in favor of that political party. But you must think, after all, you have been given brain, you are an individual, you have an individual entity. You are not a slave, you are not a sheep, as our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, has mentioned. Please check whether this is a fake news or not. If it is a fake news, revert back. Don't circulate it. You might be lucrative. It's a very good thing for that. Okay, this is good for our party. But you must think, party is not that big. Humanity is bigger than anything else. If you have any humanity, if youth will think in that way, then they should not spread the fake news, whether it was given by the party or by the religious head or by some commercial organization to promote their products. No, you have to be very critical, analyze yourself, and then go ahead. Thank you very much, Mr. Harsha, for giving your views. And it's very nice that you are among those 8,000 people, as I mentioned earlier, who have been trained. And I'm sure that with your training and with your more involvement, you can train more. And one more thing I would like to invite the attention of our viewers. The media conference with Lal Goel, with support of Gyan and Organ Donation India Foundation and the channels like V4 News and Global TV, etc. We are doing the programs with youth twice a week. So what Mr. Harsha has mentioned, one thing, that everybody wants attention today, more than money and everything. You will get this type of attention in coming and giving your views in such type of platform. I'm not saying about only media conference with Lal Goel. There are so many other good conferences are taking place online. Please participate. Please show your talent. Don't go for the fake news. Come for a real news. Become a real news. That will be a more achievement for you if you are going to save somebody, if you serve the humanity. Thank you very much, Mr. Harsha, for giving your views and giving a good direction for the youth for curbing fake news. Now, I would like to invite my next youth guest, and she is Miss Nesna PN. Miss Nesna PN, please unmute yourself. Miss Nesna, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, as well as earlier youth guest. Now, we would like to know from you role of youth in curbing fake news. First, introduce yourself and then please speak.
Good morning, one and all. I am Nesna PN from Kerala. I am doing my UG program on literature in Al-Azhar College of Arts and Science, Thodupuzha, Kerala. First of all, I would like to thank the respected authorities for giving an opportunity to express my views on the topic, role of youth in curbing fake news. Fake news are entirely invented stories designed to make people believe something false to buy a certain product or to visit a certain website. Social media platforms allow almost everyone to publish their thoughts or share stories to the world. The trouble is, most people don't check the source of the material that they view online before they share it, which can lead to fake news spreading quickly or even going viral. Younger people are exposed to misinformation that circulates rapidly on their mobile devices through instant messaging applications such as WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. In which the action of share is a matter of trust. Therefore, they are less likely to check a piece before sharing it. The disadvantages is that misinformation can affect human behavior and raises costings among social media users, companies, and policymakers. False information about health, legal status, finance affect the poorest and most vulnerable people. We, the youth, want to active on social media, think critically about what they learn and hear. So the youths are the responsible for all these who are the majority, and every youth are spending almost their whole life in virtual world. So all should wake up from this with spirit. We should develop our critical thinking. We should identify the fake news and stop forwarding blindly without checking with authenticity. We should avoid responding or reacting to any comments, of course, even propagate to a negative manner. With the parliament elections around the corner, values should avoid spreading misleading information. We should avoid energy in any needs of social cyber crimes, especially triggering to all controversial babies force status. Day by day, fake news are increasing among youth. Mostly, the fake news are firstly forwarded by the youth, as they are in all social media websites. For example, if we take the case of COVID-19 pandemic resulted in widespread lockdown across the world 2020, with billions stuck at home, people have increasingly turned to social media, which is playing a pivotal role in the spread of misinformation. However, the rise of social media and changes in how people obtain and consume news have made misinformation much more active. Fake news can now spread faster, wider, and more freely than ever before. Some steps to avoid misinformation are: check the fact before you share. Find the original source before you share a news. If you read a news, read beyond the headline. Read the whole article, not the summary written by someone else. Always remember that images and videos can be manipulated. Verify the author and publisher's authenticity, credibility, and objectives. Also, by checking the dates of the news. Also, now we have certain news channels to anchor about fake news. Also, now youths are creating some certain YouTube channels to fight against fake news in a positive way. And also new pages, trolls, memes, which fight against spreading of fake news are created by youth. And concluding my words by saying that, so the youths are the next level of development of our country. Like that, youth always plays a major role in these activities. By doing all these, we can contribute towards building a better nation with youth, and it's high time to think about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Neshna, for giving your views. And you rightly said that the youth are they can build the nation, but with the correct news, not by the fake news. Fake news will not build any nation. It is going to destroy the nation. And as we all know that if any fake news is going to create a problem, or like the data says that so many people lost their life, after all, it is sin. And there is a saying that if anybody tolerate the sin, he is bigger sinner. So if you are forwarding any fake news, it is like a sin. You might be of any religion, caste and creed. So please, my appeal to all of you, the youth, especially the youth, although senior citizens, although we know that nowadays, because the senior citizens feels they are totally free, and if they have got some smartphone, trained to how to use the WhatsApp, they are just sitting and forwarding those messages which are irrelevant without thinking that they are committing a sin, very big sin, and they should not do it. They might be involved in prayers, whether Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Sikh or Jain, whatsoever. But what is the use of that prayer if you are committing a sin by forwarding a fake news? So My advice even to the senior citizens are, please think very coolly. If you will do like this, how you expect that the youth should stop spreading the fake news? But the role of youth is important. They must tell their parents, their grandparents, not to spread this type of newses which are fake. Then only they will also understand what is the role of youth. Thank you very much, Ms. Neshna, for giving your views. I would like to now move to my next youth guest, and she is Ms. Sonia Albert. Ms. Sonia, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, as well as earlier youth guests. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in curbing fake news. Ms. Sonia Albert, please.
Top of the morning to all of you, Academy of Law, Palgat, Kerala. So once when I was provided with this topic of the role of youth in curbing fake news, I just went to the Google and I was just surfing, just browsing to add on little more information towards what I have already gathered related to the topic. So I just came across a quote which stated like this, that don't believe whatever you hear or say on internet just because you see a picture or quote next to it. So I just pretty much felt this is so much associated with the context, and I was curious about to know who delivered this quote, and I was just provided with the detail that it was given by George Washington. And while I was just browsing down, I found the same quote, and it was stated that it was delivered by Abraham Lincoln. So this is what happens. We are provided with a lot of information, but it's our responsibility to apply our mind and to just check the reliability. As we know that it's always appealable to go two or more sources to check whether the facts in each of the site is similar or if it is different. Just similar to that of we consulting two or more doctors before a major surgery to be done. And also, the tendency what we could see today is just like much ado about nothing. Connecting to my personal life, I would like to state one instance that recently, just few months back, we all got a viral video, and it was said that it was the song, it was an iconic Bollywood song, Garze Nikalte Hi, and it was sung by the captain Deepak Sathe, who died recently in the Air India Express plane crash. And it was circulated in that expeditious way, and even I just came across the video, and without thinking twice, even I shared the same in my WhatsApp status and Instagram status, and I was just asked by my peers. It's the happy part of the instance that there are people who are just taking effort to check and verify and confirm whether it is right or not. So I was just asked to check it, and while I was just checking, I just found the news that it was actually sung by the Vice Admiral Mr. Girish Luthra, and I was sorry about the news which I spread. So this is what actually happens. And also recently we know that a few days before, we just went across the controversial news that the forest fire which was in Uttarakhand, actually the pic was circulated. It was a old pic, and it was said to be a recent one, and it got circulated. And even the case, boys locker room case, where the objectionable comments got leaked, it made a lot of hatred in social media. And actually it was a girl who just made a fake account to just check the qualities of the other male friends of her. So these are the ways fake news are spreading. And since I am just in a position that a cat which got burned its mouth by drinking the hot milk, now whatever, even if it is a buttermilk provided to the cat, now it will blow it at first instance because it has got the experience. So it's mistakes which makes people alert. And also by seeing the legal perspective, we could say that there are legal perspectives in the legal way. Section 54 of Disaster Management Act 2005 and Indian Penal Code 1908, Section 505(1) subclause B. These are the provisions in law which gives penal provisions for spreading the fake news and the consequences arising out of it. And also, simply to give an explanation for fake news, these are the fabricated false news which is out of unverified facts, sources and codes. And also these fake news are propagated, one, intentionally made to mislead the reader or for some economic incentive purpose. And we have reached in such an expeditious leap forward in this deep fake technology. And today it is possible to make audios and videos of a living person saying that they did this, they said that, which they never intended to say or did. They might not have said or did the same thing, but it looks like much realistic, and it's very difficult to restrict the detection. And these kind of fake news may influence a person's business life, politics, and also the fake multimedia can ruin the personal lives of people. And also it can feed a conversation. As we know that more than the genuine news, it's fake news which is spreading like a wild forest fire. So it's always better to check, like there are certain steps to check whether a news which is provided to you is right or not. The first point, you can check the headlines, whether if it is decorated or furnished with lots of punctuations or capital letters, or if it is trying to convey something hidden, like a secret which the media doesn't want to. So just think twice whether it is a right content or not. And also just you can make use of the Google image tool search bars to check the reliability of the image which is being affixed with the matter. And also just question the author, like just go to the about page of the site and just check whether it is a reliable one. Is the author is being given the biography of the author of the content. And also it's better not to share or circulate the content if you are in a fickle state of mind. Like if you're not sure about the content, then it's better to check, verify, confirm, and then spread. Otherwise, please don't take forward a step to spread those kind of news. And also always, as I mentioned earlier, always just go and check into or other more sources to see whether the facts are almost similar, so that just like the way I said, just you are taking the opinion of 2 or more doctors before a major surgery, that whether if all those facts have a sync in between. So if then you can just have a credibility over the content of the matter. So these are the things which I would like to say. So always apply your mind, be reasonable, just apply logic and just think and then reflect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sonia, for giving your views. And you started with quoting about George Washington. You know, the internet started in which year? I'm sure Mr. Harsha can vouch for me. It started in 1983. And George Washington was there in 1779 to 17 at that time. How he can give a quote about internet? Similarly, Abraham Lincoln, he was in 1800 something. He was not even in 1900. So in these types of quotes, today, if you see, you are right. If you see, go into the Google, you will find President Kalam's quote, Mahatma Gandhi's quote, and all those quotes, if like you said, if you search again, you will find that the same quote was given by 3 more personalities. So this is the responsibility of the youth to check before quoting. Many times it happens that the quotes are coming on our program of Media Conference with Lal Goyal. Youths are quoting, and I know that this quote is not of that, but what to do? Because this is the fault. Even I say the fault lies with the Google search. They should also check and then they should allow to put it. But it happens, like as you have mentioned about, even I will tell you that yesterday only I quit one group of my friends because they put one hatred message about a particular community without cross-checking. And they say that particular community is the richest community in the India. They have so many things and whatnot. I would not like to give the details, but I said, and they all illegally, they are doing wealth and this thing. I said, if it is like this, if you have the information, why this information is not with the government of India, why the enforcement department and income tax department has not yet raided that group? It is because people wants to create hatred. So that is why I'm saying, please, even if you are in a friends group, a close friends group, if they are giving some hatred message, warn them once or twice. If they are not interested, quit the group. You will become a celebrity yourself. They will understand your position. As Mr. Harsha said, that youth want to become something, be different. If you will start rebuking them that this is a fake news, if you are identifying the fake news, then people will start referring to you, so and so, Miss or Mr., is this a fake news? You will become a celebrity. Why not? But please see to it that is a sin to forward a fake news. Thank you very much, Ms. Sonia, for giving your views and enlightening us that whenever there is a quote by a famous person, please check 10 times, then only you quote. Otherwise, don't quote that so-and-so has given this quote. Thank you very much, Ms. Sonia. Now, I would like to go for my next youth guest, and she is Ms. Tanushri Shetty. Ms. Tanushri Shetty, you have heard our chief guest, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, as well as all our earlier youth guests. Now, we would like to know from you the role of youth in curbing fake news. First, introduce yourself and then go ahead. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Tanushri Shetty from 3rd BA, studying in School of Social Work, Roshni Nilaya, Mangalore, Karnataka. I'd like to begin my address with a definition of democracy. Democracy is a government by the people in which the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised directly by them or their elected agents under a free electoral system. The pillars of democracy are the legislature, executive, judiciary, and the fourth pillar are the estate, that is the media. For citizens of a democracy to be empowered and informed, the media plays a very crucial role. The strength of democracy depends upon the strength of each pillar and the way they each complement. India is the world's second largest populated country. The population is equivalent to 17.7% of the world population, making us the largest democracy. Hence, the role of media for a country as vast as ours is very, very important. I believe that a truly free and independent press is the red beating heart of freedom and democracy. Challenging power, questioning authority only strengthens a nation. That is the primary role of media, to constantly seek out the truth and to produce it to the citizens without bias. News is simply supposed to be the truth, but we all know that the truth varies from different sources. The news from a certain source is completely different from the news of a certain other. The news should be laid out without opinions and bias of journalists. It should be just the facts. Yet as a nation, one of the most crucial and most dangerous issues we all face is the very unreliability of our media. Which truth do we believe in? Do we even get the truth? Or do we just get propaganda served to look like the truth? It turns out news is much more than just facts. It affects our lives in various aspects. News affects our attitudes to minorities and immigrants, to the content of our dreams. It can sneak into our subconscious and meddle with our lives in surprising ways. It can lead us to miscalculate certain risks, shape our views of our surrounding, and possibly influence health of entire economies. It can increase the risk of developing post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression. Now there's emerging evidence that it even affects physical health. It has increasing chances of getting heart issues, including other various health issues also. That is the power news has on us. With power comes responsibility. Responsibility to those who are publishing it and to those who view it, that is us. In the year 2021, we no longer rely on television or newspaper to gather information. We are bombarded with news constantly through social media, podcasts, streaming services, and websites. Researches have been conducted that show how fast fake news spread than real news. They spread like wildfire, and they're much more believable than the truth. All of this we have seen. We've seen various recipes of concoction that state that we would be 100%, that guarantee 100% safety from COVID. We've seen fake news cause unrest in our country. We've seen it cause riots. How do we as a nation stop the spread of fake news? How do we protect our opinions from being tarnished? The answer could be youth. 35% of the population of India lies between the age range of 15 to 24. We, the age group of 15 to 24, are the major users of social media and have the access to knowledge powered through internet. Certain steps that could stop the spread of fake news are always consider the source. Check the site, the mission, the contact information. Read beyond the headlines. Headlines are made in such a way to garner attention. Read the whole article, read the whole story to know the entirety of it. Check the date. Always search for expert knowledge. We humans tend to jump to conclusions. Before rushing to form an opinion, read various articles, verify the information that you've been provided with. Knowledge is a great power. We, the youth, can spread the knowledge that we've gained and help to stop this vicious cycle of lies. I'd like to conclude with a statement that I find quite fitting for this situation. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance. It is the illusion of knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shetty. And you rightly said that the media is the unofficially, not the officially, fourth pillar of the democracy. And the media plays a very big role in, and you, according to you, that it is spreading. Yes, not according to you. Everybody knows that the media is also responsible for spreading fake news many times. But after all, youth have their own responsibility. All the citizens of India are having their own responsibility. If they feel that the particular news channel or newspaper is spreading fake news, they should not see that channel at all. They can avoid it. This remote control is in the hand of youth. And if you will not watch that particular news channel or the newspaper, if you will not read it, definitely the TRP or the circulation will go down. If it is a genuine TRP, then definitely tomorrow they have to switch over from fake to real news. But you also mentioned one thing, that the fake news goes very faster than the real news. And that is the problem. Because the media also watch which news, which type of news the consumer wants, the viewer wants. And the viewers wants to see something which is spicy news, breaking news. But they forget one thing, that for the spicy and the breaking news, they have been served with fake news many times. I'm not saying every time. So please watch it carefully before spreading that news. And the responsibility lies with the youth, because you are having that power. You said 24 or 25%. I say 65% population is youth, because in India we goes up to 45 years. Up to 45 years in India, people are termed as a youth. So you have the controlling power. You in democracy, as you mentioned, the definition of democracy, majority rules, and majority belongs to youth, not an old person like us. So please try to hold your position, try to exercise your power, and see to it no fake news should be circulated by anyone, whosoever he or she is. And if you people will take action, no one can come in front and can spread the fake news. Thank you very much, Ms. Shetty, for giving very good views about the curbing for fake news. Now I would like to go back to our chief guest, Mr. Kulshrestha. You have heard all our panelists who have given their views in a very, very positive way about and they have given their experiences, even their what knowledge they gained either from Google or from the experience, and to curb the fake news. And it shows, in my opinion, which you will going to summarize and you will tell the concluding remark, is that in my opinion, if youth today is started thinking about the fake news, even if they started thinking, the day is not far, then we will not have any fake news, because youth have that power. Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, please, for his concluding remarks about this particular program today's.
Oh, thank you very much, Lalji. Firstly, I'm very, very grateful. It is amazing experience to hear my young friends. More girls were there because today is Women's Day. And I would just like to register my protest before you, Mr. Lal. Neither you are old, I'm certainly not. I'm a youth. I thought this media role of youth, I thought you are even with me, and the rest of them are much younger than me. I accept that. So kindly register it. It is with all of the friends. I felt I'm young as they are. As long as you have energy, you don't need anybody else to support you. Don't at least call old unless it drives you some special benefits from the government. There it is okay. I will shut my eyes. I think there's one question I want to know, which is again, when I was reading this oath, why it is oath. Is it your duty to pass on something? Firstly, is it essential for you? What type of fun are you driving out of it? If the same amount of energy or time, both, if you put into your own development, educational physical, spiritual, family, or any talent. You are a singer, you can sing. No, I'm sitting because I have a mobile. It's something like a gun is there, so I have to fire. Why? Everyone has to think we have become the tools in the hands of mischief mongers. Everybody said, I said it, I have said it to others. Why? He's not sitting with you. Can't you have any other topic to talk? Have we not lived our life without all these things? Your pleasure is better than ours? I said, no. You are absolutely behaving in a very, very immature, irresponsible manner. And this society belongs to you, country belongs to you. If each one of you becomes a person who is just forwarding, what is your character? Mr. Lal, you have 2-3 times mentioned, and I liked it every time. They are the biggest one in number, they are the biggest in the world. But where is your role? Is it your role to pass on information? Please do that. And if it is, you are being paid to do wrong things, do it at your own cost. I have a question for Mr. Harsha. I just want to say, we can also introduce a pledge before you are allowed to use the website, that you will behave responsibly, and you should be having a warning down there under various acts. Anything you said, it is permanent. Even if you have deleted, gone, the tools have come. The tools are there for you to spread. The tools are there to catch you, either originator or you have become a virus spreader. Use the mask, both of you. Then secondly, the person who has paid to get this disease or who has created a disease is a criminal liability on the society, and he will be dead. If not today, tomorrow. So sense of responsibility. Then only thing is this, don't you have anything else to do this? One more thing I would like to add. I am yet to see an achiever who had been doing all these things. For a temporary, you think that I will become important by spreading this type of messages. You are highly wrong. I liked one thing when this badminton player, PT, sorry.
Sania Nehwal or Sandhu?
PV Sandhu. Yes, sorry. PV Sandhu said that when I was trying training, my coach, he asked me my mobile phone, I did not use it. This is an example. When you are doing something, please see what is your aim and then stick to that aim. If you have to send, we all are using media. This is the facility of this internet and media. We are sitting and talking to each other. Otherwise, it would have taken 4 days to have all these peoples together. So one thing which I say, it's a very, very good thing. It's a blessings to the society now, but this is also very dangerous. This is a disease you are spreading. You can forward somebody's song. You can say, I went there, I ate this dish. It may normally be false, or we do all these things. But I don't think there is any reason to find out and derive pleasure out of this mental inclination or something. Something is wrong. So each one of us, when we are all youth, I still again say, and pledge the parents, the school teachers, everywhere. And you very rightly said, somebody is doing wrong, she should not be respected. Nobody respects a mischief monger in your, even a group of 3 friends. And you say he is a reliable, he is a sober. So we need a soberity plus the law has to come. And if we can reach that maturity of society where before I make a car which can run, for God's sake, also put a brake in that. Have you seen so many accidents when the roads are made good? You are speeding without having control. So first of all, there has to be a safety catch. I'm using the term in the gun before you sail the gun. Secondly, don't give the gun to a person who doesn't know when to use it. And this is something like America, where gun culture has come because Supreme Court once allowed it, anybody can buy. Unfortunately, all new high energy, untapped energy, diverted energy, split energy, the tools has come. It will take a lot of time and energy and systems to come in due course of time. They're coming very fast, but till such time, for God's sake, stop sending anything which has come to you unless it is your duty or it gives you money. See that you are not being used as a paid enemy of society. Society belongs to all of you. The result will be with them more than us. And before I close my eyes, I would like each youth, especially in India, to become a role model for the world, that they have equipments and they also know how to use it. Thank you. With that, I say I appreciate and thank you for putting me along with this very charming, very intelligent, beautifully spoken, and so many points they have given. I salute to them, and I'm there with you and all of them for any help you want from me, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kulshrestha, for giving such an inspirational and motivational concluding remark. I'm sure all our youths which are participating, or those who are not participating, but those who are viewing live or those who are going to view afterwards, are going to get the message which you have given in a very, very firm way, which is required today, that please don't spread the venom. Otherwise, there is no difference between a snake and a person who is spreading a fake news. Thank you very much to Mr. Kulshrestha and all the youth, our guest. And today's program, which has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. And tomorrow our topic is, as you all know, that tomorrow is 14th February, that is the Valentine's Day. Tomorrow our topic is Valentine Day and Indian culture. And our participants are Shri Ramchandra Das, Head, Shri Raman Vihari, Gaudiya Mutt, New Delhi, Miss Ruchira Sharma, Regional Director of People Strong, New Delhi, Miss Priya Sivadas, Celebrity Coach, Founder of Training for You, and Mr. Sumit Pal Sharma, Partner, Pumex Global, Mumbai. So please tune in tomorrow to watch media conference with Lal Goyal at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajit Kulshrestha, our chief guest of today's program, as well as all the youth guests who have participated today and giving their valuable views. And I'm sure today's program will definitely try to curb some fake news, if not all, so that the society will get some relief. Thank you very much. Thank you all the viewers for watching our show.